Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to discuss about Warhol's Pearl and Lotka-Volterra equation. So I'm starting with the concept of Lotka-Volterra model. So first thing is that what is the Lotka-Volterra curve is. The Lotka-Volterra model provides us information about the competition between the two species living in same ecosystem. This model was proposed by A.J. Lotka and V. Volterra, since its name as Lotka-Volterra model. To understand Lotka-Volterra model, you need to first know some facts about ecology. So the facts are, while two species are living in same habitat, they share some resources, such as they may share food resources and habits in that place. Now the question is that there is a difference between the term ecological niche and the term habitat? So the answer is yes. There is the difference between these two terms. Habitat is the place where an organism lives that concludes only abiotic factors in that habitat or in that place, while the niche includes the abiotic factors, the food source, and the habit of the organism. All together is the part of niche. So ecological niche is much more accurate and much more specific as compared to habitat. Now let's talk about Gauss competitive exclusion principle. When there is a competition between the two species, there will be two conditions can occur. The first is either of the species will win or lose. The species those will win that will be survive, and they are called as predator, whereas the species those will lose that will result to the extinction of that species, they are called as prey. And the second condition is that they will undergo partition, that is the coexistence between the competitive species. Now the question is that how can we predict the outcome of the competition? So here the Lotka-Volterra model will help us to predicting the outcome of the competition between two species. Let's say we have two species, species 1 and species 2. They are competing with each other. Then what will we see? The species 1 will have some impact on species 2, and species 2 also will have an impact on species 1. Now the impact exerted by the species 1 on species 2 is represented by alpha 21 or simply alpha, whereas the impact exerted by the species 2 on species 1 is represented by alpha 12 and simply beta. So before going to the actual discussion, let's start with some basics of growth model, because it will help us to understand better about Lotka-Volterra equation and their graphs. How population grow when they have unlimited resources, and how a resources limit the change that pattern of the growth. To understand a different model, those are used to represent the population dynamics. Let's start by taking at the general equation for the population growth rate, which is dn by dt equals to Rn. In this equation, dn by dt equals to is the growth rate of the population in the given instant, n is the population size, t is the time, and small r intrinsic growth rate or the per capita rate of increase. The equation dn by dt equals to Rn is very general, and we can make more specific from it to describe the two different kinds of growth model. So first one is the exponential growth model. When the per capita rate of increase, that is small r, takes the same positive value regardless of the population size, then we get the exponential growth curve. Its equation is dn by dt equals to R max into n. Here the R max is the maximum per capita rate of increase or maximum intrinsic growth rate. The shape of this graph is J shape. This exponential formula is only for calculating the rapid growth. This may be possible for bacteria only. It is not occurs in reality. Exponential growth may happen for a while if a few individual and many resources we have. But when the number of individuals get larger enough, the resources start to get abused, and this will lead to the slowing of growth rate. For this we have the second growth curve, which is the logistic growth curve. When the per capita rate of increase, that is small r, decreases as the population increases toward the maximum limit, then we have logistic growth. The logistic growth equation is that dn by dt equals to R max in bracket k minus n divided by k multiplied by n. Let's take a minute to dissect this equation and see why it's make a sense. Here the expression k minus s tells us how more individual can be added to the population before it hits the carrying capacity. And the term k minus n divided by k is the fraction of the carrying capacity. It means that the more the carrying capacity that has been used up, the more the term k minus n divided by k will reduce the growth rate. Let's conclude this. So the logistic growth is when the number of individuals are larger and the resources are limited. The graph of the logistic curve is S-shaped or sigmoidal. This growth model was proposed by Warholz and Pearl, since its name as Warholz-Pearl logistic growth curve, and its equation is also known as the Warholz-Pearl equation. So these two formula of logistic and exponential growth will not be enough to predict the outcomes of the two competing species. So in that case, we need to use the idea of the Lotka-Volterra model. So let's discuss about the Lotka-Volterra equation in detail. Here I am considering the three cases for to understand it better. So case 1. Suppose there is no competition among the species. In this case, we'll just follow the logistic growth curve, and its equation is dn by dt equals to Rn in bracket k minus n divided by k. So when there will be no growth rate, we can say that dn by dt equals to 0. It means that the number of individual will reach up to its carrying capacity. So this is all about when there is no competition among the species. But what happens when there is a competition? As we know, there are two types of competition, intraspecific and interspecific. So case 2, intraspecific competition is when the members of the same species competing with one another, then there will be intraspecific competition among the species. In this case, it will follow the logistic growth curve, and its equation is dn by dt equals to Rn in bracket k minus 1 divided by k. In this equation, the first term on the right side of the equation, the intrinsic rate of increase times the population, that is Rn, describe the population growth in absence of competition. The second term, k minus n divided by k, incorporates the intraspecific competition, and its value ranges between 0 to 1. The growth curve described by the logistic equation is sigmoidal, and the rate of the growth depends on the density of the population. So the next is case 3, interspecific competition. Interspecific competition refers to the competition between the two or more species for some limiting resources. These limiting resources can be food or nutrients, space, mates, nesting sites, or anything for which the demand is greater than supply. The Lotka-Volterra model of interspecific competition is comprised of the following equation for species 1 and species 2. For species 1 in the green box and for species 2 in purple box. In this equation, the big difference is the term involving the competition coefficient, that is alpha 12 and alpha 21. The competition coefficient represents the effect one species has on the other. So now let's understand the graphs of the Lotka-Volterra model. To understand the prediction of the model, it is helpful to look at the graph that shows how the size of the each population increases or decreases when we start with a different combination of the species abundance. These graphs are called as state space graphs, in which the abundance of the species 1 is plotted on the x-axis and the abundance of the species 2 is plotted on the y-axis. Each point in the state space graph represent a combination of the abundance of the two species. For each species, there is a state line on the graph called zero isocline. The zero isocline for the species is calculating by setting dn by dt equals to 0 and for solving the population size n. The two graphs on this slide, the zero isocline for the species 1 with represented by the solid yellow line and for species 2 with dashed pink line. Now remember here the main concept of this graph, that for any point below the isocline, that population will increase, whereas for any point above the isocline, that population will decrease. These two graphs illustrate what happens to the population when it is below or above its isocline, but they only account for one isocline at the time. Now we have four scenarios when we compare species 1 and species 2 in the same graphs. These four graphs includes both the species isoclines and illustrate the possible outcomes of the interspecific competition depending on whether each species isocline lies in the relation to the other. In each graph, the solid yellow line represents the isocline of the species 1 and the dashed pink line represents the isocline of the species 2. Here the thick black arrow represents the joint trajectory of the two populations and the thin colored arrows indicates the trajectories of the individual populations. So now first scenario. The first scenario is the one in which the isocline for the species 1 is above to the isocline of the species 2. Here I am considering the three areas for understand easily. For any point below the isocline, that population will increase. So here both the population of the species 1 and species 2 are below their respective isoclines. This will result in the increase of the population number of the both species. In area 2, for any point above the isocline, the population will decrease. Here both the species are above their respective isocline. This will result to the decrease of the population number of both the species. While in area 3, for any point between the two isoclines, the species 1 is still below its isocline and its population number will increase. Whereas for species 2, it above its isocline and its population will decrease. You can see thick black arrows, it represent the joint movement of the two populations. So the joint movement of the two population is down and to the right. So species 2 is driven to the extinction and the species 1 increases until it reaches to its carrying capacity, that is K1. It means that the species 1 will win and the species 2 will lose. The open circle at this point represent a stable equilibrium. In this scenario, the species 1 always outcompetes species 2 and it is referred to as the competitive exclusion of species 2 by species 1. Now coming to the second scenario. The second scenario is the opposite of the first. Here the isocline of the species 2 is above to the isocline of the species 1. This graph can be interpreted is in much the same as the previous one. except at the joint trajectory of the two population in area 3. Here the joint movement of the two population is upward. So species 1 is driven to extinction and the species 2 increases until it reaches up to its carrying capacity, that is K2. It means that species 2 will win and species 1 will lose. In this case, the species 2 always outcompetes species 1 and the species 1 is competitively excluded by species 2. In the third scenario, the isocline of the two species crosses one another. You can see in the x-axis that here the carrying capacity of the species 1 K1 is higher than that of the carrying capacity of the species 2 K2 divided by the computation coefficient alpha 21. And also you can see in the y-axis that the carrying capacity of the species 2 K2 is higher than that of the carrying capacity of the species 1 K1 divided by the competition coefficient alpha 1 2. Below both the isoclines and above both the isoclines, the population increases or decreases as in the first two scenario, and there is a unstable equilibrium. This unstable equilibrium point where the isocline intersects, here in this graph it is represented by the closed circle. For point above the dashed pink line and below the solid yellow line, the outcome is the same as the first scenario, that is the competition exclusion of species 2 by species 1. On the other hand, for point above the solid yellow line and below the dash pink line, the outcome is same as the second scenario, that is the competitive exclusion of species 1 by species 2. The two stable equilibrium points are again represented by the open circle in this graph. You can see in this slide. In this scenario, the result is that the outcome depends on the initial abundance of the two species. Finally, in the fourth scenario, we can see that the isocline crosses one another, but in this case, both the species carrying capacity are lower than the other carrying capacity divided by the competitive coefficient. Again, below the isoclines, the population increases and above the isoclines, the population decreases. In this case, however, when the population of the two species are between the isoclines, their joint trajectory always head towards the intersection of the isoclines. In this graph, rather than outcompeting one species to the another, both the species are able to coexist at this stable equilibrium point, which is represented by the open circle. So this is all about the Lotka-Volterra model and its equation and graph. Population interaction. Thank you for listening this video. Thank you.